Good job, Don. Hey, my name's Ed. I get to tell you another story about this guy by the name of Pete and his family. The phone call came in while the family was putting up the Christmas tree. Actually, the tree was already up. It was actually the decorations that were being attached to branches. All this was supposed to be fun. Heirloom building. Pete and Mary had been planning the event for several weeks. They had read that families were supposed to begin little rituals, annual festivities, which would be deposited in children's minds, not unlike squirrels secreting away nuts in the fall. The idea was that when kids reached adulthood, they would look back, recall fond memories of their childhood, reminisce on all the delightful things their parents had done for them. That was Pete's plan, full disclosure. Mary just wanted the fond family memories. 3 years after their firstborn had come along, Andrew, 13 years old now, Peter had Googled, "What good parents do?" And the internet had recommended building legacies. Heirlooms, they called it. Mary had to explain it to him. Ironically, it was Mary who began initiating ideas. The photograph session on the first day of school, Andrew, Betty, and Sharon lined up trying to smile away their anxieties. Their middle child, 12-year-old Betty, picked up the phone and a moment later handed it to her dad. For some reason, Betty had put the receiver on speaker, so the whole family heard Uncle Fred say, "It's about that thing on the ice. Why didn't you ask us first?" "What are you talking about, Fred?" Pete fiddled with the receiver to shut down the speaker. "It's a rust bucket. It's an eyesore. And what is it exactly?" Oh, Peter was getting it. Mary was eyeing him nervously now that she couldn't hear the conversation. "It's nothing," he mouthed her way. He motioned her to turn down the stereo. Part of the heirloom memory thing was playing the same Christmas music over and over while playing pin the decoration on the Christmas tree. The internet article had explained that if parents would play the same melody 10 times during an activity, that when the music was played again in future years, the child would remember the heirloom experience. "You still there, Pete?" Fred was saying. "Yeah, just turning down the legacy music." "The what?" Nothing. Pete had got a remarkable deal on a 35-year-old boat lift at the end of October. These things usually went for $4,000 or $5,000 on sale, the aluminum ones. As soon as the ice had formed on the lake, Pete had parked the all-steel contraption beside the dock. "It's a boat lift," Pete told Fred. "I paid $300 for it. I need it for my boat." "Really?" Fred answered. "I guess that's what boat lifts are for boats." "Hey, Fred, do you mind? We're putting up our tree right now," Pete said. "It's a family tradition we started this year. It's pretty important, heirloom stuff." "Pete, I'm calling on behalf of all the partners, not to mention the entire village," Fred bellowed on the phone. "We don't want that thing on the lake. In the spring, when the ice melts, it's gonna go where?" "Well, Fred, it's gonna sink 3 feet down so I can park the boat over it and then lift up the boat. It's a boat lift." "Yeah, well, it's a decomposing monstrosity, and if it sinks, we'll never see the end of it, will we? It'll sink there, and it'll be stuck there for all eternity because there's no bank on that shore if we're getting it out. It's ugly depravity personified." "You're using big words today, Fred." Pete could feel the blood rushing to his face. "Don't push me, Pete. I can't even see the lift working. It died in the 80s, man." Mary's 3 brothers, along with Mary and Pete, had purchased a cabin on Rose Lake a few years back. Everyone supposedly owned a quarter share. Pete and Mary's share was seemingly on paper only. "It's not that bad," Pete said. "Yeah, it is. Fred returned. Even our neighbors, the Nelsons, commented on it. And you know how easygoing they are. I'm sorry, man, it's got to go. And I'd help you move it, but I can't. You can't, said Pete, staring at Mary, who was standing on a chair working the top part of the tree. She was trying to stuff a plastic angel figurine down on the top branch. Pete momentarily felt sorry for the angel. Would be nice to have it gone before Christmas, Fred was saying. A lot of villagers will be holidaying there during the break. What is it today? Thursday the 12th? Give you 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, Fred. Well, why don't you go tomorrow early? It's a 3-hour trip. And where am I going to put it? Pete pleaded. No one in their right mind is going to have that thing. Fred's laughter irritated Pete. No kidding. The thing's like an overweight hay wagon, he was saying, except it doesn't have a steering column or a hitch tongue or whatever they call it. And how would you even get the thing over? It wasn't easy to get it over, Pete interrupted. I had to roll it on a trailer in order to haul it with my old truck. It's ridiculously heavy. I have had to give the trailer back. Now it's impossible to move. Like I said, Fred interrupted. I'd help you, but you can't, Pete said. I know, you can't. So, can I tell folks it'll be gone? Fred asked. Pete hesitated. Fred said, maybe, hey, let me talk to Mary a second. No, it'll be gone. Pete knew he was defeated. Do you have any idea how difficult it's going to? Yeah, I feel badly for you, Fred said, knowing he'd won. Everything's snowed in. Pete had his back turned on Mary now, so she couldn't see the frustration on his face. Hey, it's going to be next to impossible. I'm glad it's not. I'm glad I'm not you. Next time ask, man. I got to go, Pete. The hockey game's on. Mary was quiet for several minutes after Pete hung up the phone. Those moments are deadly. The Christmas tree was nearly done. Silver balls, golden strings, red ribbons. Pete even thought that for a moment she might, so when you going to go up and get rid of the boat lift? Didn't I tell you? Okay, you're right, Pete said. You were right. I'll just go up there and get it up. How? The thing's almost twice as wide as your truck. It's dangerously top-heavy, Pete, and you can't even steer it. But you gotta like the color, Mary. It's not funny, Pete. Rust isn't even a color. And isn't one of the tires flat? 3 of them are just fine. And you can steer it, and we can steer it if we have a 1/4 kilometer. We? Pete, I'd go with you, but you can't. Yeah. The kids were putting the nativity scene on top of the piano. A ceramic Mary and Joseph, sheep and cows, all nestled under that hut-looking thing. 9-year-old Sharon was humming Silent Night, arranging and rearranging the dumbfounded shepherds, the wise men with their crowns, the whole gang squashed around the manger, the Messiah looking rather small and perplexed. Maybe Pete should pack up the truck right now and leave first thing in the morning.
Sleep.